We're often asked how what we do at High Resolves relates to the change we want to see in the world. I mean, clearly everyone wants to see a better world. We want to see a world where people are acting in the interest of humanity and addressing the various problems we have. But how does that come around? And so for us at High Resolves, we begin our theory of change with what happens with a single individual. And if you look at the typical person, we know that there's a bias towards acting in their personal interest and acting with a very short-term focus. But a lot of the things that we want to see in the world require us to act in the long-term collective interest. And so really that's the main transformation that we're trying to see in people, is to get them to shift from acting in their personal self-interest to acting in the long-term collective interest. And how do we do that? We do that through a combination of peak experiences that basically shake the way you think about the world and suggest the possibility of having a different lens and looking at issues, whether it's justice or social inclusion, in a new light. We then combine that with repeated practice in the classroom and some kind of real-world application. And we know from learning science that the combination of these three things, the peak experience, repeated practice, and some sort of real-world application, allows every individual to develop some kind of mastery over this topic area, and we'll be able to see the kind of change that we want to see, acting in the long-term collective interest. And of course the magic is, if you have a critical mass of people who are doing this, then you reach a tipping point in society. And whether that's a single school, a neighborhood, a town, a country, or even the entire world, if enough people were to act in the long-term collective interest of humanity, then we'd see a lot of the changes we want to see in the world. So for High Resolves, we do our change one student at a time, but we're trying to contribute to this movement of getting more and more people to act in the long-term collective interest.